Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my Facebook Live. Today is Wednesday, July 7th, and it's 12 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time. I'll go ahead and give a few minutes for people to join. I know there's a little bit of a delay. I'm going to turn on my light here. The weather is nice and sunny today. We might get rain later. I'm not sure. What's the weather where you're at? Let me adjust this a little. Okay. I posted earlier this morning all of my Facebook Lives this month. I'm going to be sharing projects made with Designer Series paper. This month, Stampin' Up! Is offering a Designer Series paper sale. So there's 9 different Designer Series papers that are 15% off this month. So it's a great time to stock up. This runs through August 2nd. So I go live every Wednesday at noon, and I have lots of projects planned for this month. So you'll want to be sure and check me out every week, okay? So this is my new hostess code for July. It's going to run July 1st through the 30th. Like always, if you spend $40 or more, you'll get my monthly card kit in the mail for free. And I will host a card class on Facebook, probably the first weekend in August. So in your packet, it will include a sheet that looks like this, and I will have the date of the actual Facebook Live. If you can't watch it live, it's always recorded. Anyone can watch these classes, but only those that place orders with me will receive the kit to make the supplies. And the stars on the bottom, if you place an order for 5 consecutive months, you just write the date of your order in each of the stars, and when you fill in all 5 stars, you can send it back to me for a $15 shopping spree. Okay? Hi, Maribel. Thanks for joining. If you're just joining, say hello. What else? Okay, so this is my current hostess code. And let's see here. Had everything ready to go. So this month my class is going to be featuring the Sweet Strawberry bundle, the stamp set, and the punch. You can, if you don't have this, you can order it. However, for my monthly classes on Facebook, I try to make them so that if you can use a different stamp set if you want. If you don't have this one. However, if you're one of those people that like to make it exactly like mine, you'll want to make sure that you have this bundle. So, hi Christy, thanks for joining. Okay, and felt like I had a lot to share. I wanted to share that I am doing a Christmas in July class to go, featuring this stamp set. I'm still working on the project, so keep an eye out for that. It will be coming by email, hopefully before the end of the week. If you are not currently on my emailing list, I will have a link. After this video, I'll post all my links to the Facebook post, and you can go there to sign up. Okay? Let's see, what else? I think that's it. Sorry, I keep saying so much. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I must not be. Okay, so today we are doing projects with Designer Series paper. And the projects that I'm going to show you today are the cards. We're doing all cards. They are going to showcase the Designer Series paper itself. Okay, each week I'm going to be sharing something different, and I've created events on my business page, and each week it tells you what I'll be featuring, okay? Hey Lori, thanks for joining. So let's see here. All the Designer Series paper that I'm featuring today is on the Designer Series paper sale, okay? Also, if you are a demonstrator, right now we can do the pre-order. So you can order your designer series paper, you can do your pre-order, you can earn celebration. What else? Demonstrators also, because they get their discount, that discount is on top of the 15%. So if your regular discount is 25%, then you're getting 40% off on these papers, so it's a great deal. Okay, I participate in my own paper shares so that I can get a small selection of all the papers. So when I'm doing my papers, you'll notice that they're all the 6x6 size, okay? I keep the cardboard in the back because I reference the colors on it, okay? So the stamp set that I'm going to be using today is the Many Messages, okay? This carried over from I think is that what this the holiday catalog? I'm not sure, but it has the coordinating die. I love this set. I think it's a great way to cut out a bunch of sentiments, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you could still purchase the stamp set and then just cut the sentiments out yourself. Okay. And so let's see what else. So today, because I want the designer series paper to be my focus, what I'm doing is kind of what they call a one sheet wonder. And you can find these layouts all over the internet. If you just put in one sheet wonder, there's all different sizes. I'm doing one for 6x6. You can come up with your own. It's really easy. Here is my kind of guide. And so you'll see this is with the 6x6 paper, and I just sketched it out on grid paper. And then this is how I'm going to cut my paper. Okay, so this piece here is going to be 1.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to come over 1.5 inches and cut down. This one will be 3 by 3. These 3 will be 3 by 1, and these 4 will be 1.5 by 1.5. Okay. For the cards that I'm going to share today, you'll need one 6x6 sheet of DSP, 2 full sheets of cardstock, and this is going to create 4 cards that coordinate, and then 1 full sheet of cardstock for your mats. Okay, so I go to the back of the designer series paper and I look at the colors, and this is where I get my colors from for my cardstock and my ink. Okay. For your mat here, the first one, and I'll put this up closer, the first one is going to be 1 5/8 by 5.5, 3 1/4 by 4.5, 3 1/4 by 3.5, and then 3.5 by 3.5. And this will all make sense when I start putting the cards together, okay? And I'll share this at the end again. But this is going to be my map to make these cards. And so what I do by participating, here, hold on one second. By participating in my own product shares, I get a sampling of all the papers. So I am going to be working with the In the Wild Designer Series paper, and then I'm going to show you the same project done with the pansy petals and then the sweet symmetry. Okay, so this is a great project if you have a lot of designer series paper and you need to use it up. It's also great if you want to make a little bunch of cards to give as a gift. And it's also a great project if you want to get a lot of cards made in a short amount of time. Okay, so let me share with you how I'm going to start. Okay, so get all my stuff here. So for this paper, I'm just going to embellish with some gold ribbon. And so like I showed you, this is the sheet of cardstock that I'm going to be using. And the reason that I like to have the 6x6 is because I can have a sampling of all the beautiful papers, but I don't necessarily have to buy all the bundles and the suites. I can't afford that. And as much as I love them all, by getting the designer series paper, I'm kind of able to play with those different suites, just not necessarily with the stamp sets, okay? So this project works really good if you have a favorite sentiment stamp set. You can also you could pretty much use any stamp set that has sentiments. You'll see in some of my projects later, different stamp sets that I used. But really we're just using the stamp set for the sentiments, not for the images, because the image is going to be provided by the designer series paper, okay? So here I have my 2 sheets for the base of my card, or the base of my cards, and then this sheet here is going to be my mat for all of my cards, okay? And then I'm actually going to use the black for my sentiments, okay? So let's do that really quick so that we have those. And I didn't do this ahead of time because I wanted you to see how I do it. So let's move all this stuff out of the way. So I am just taking this white cardstock and I'm just going to cut it in half. I mean, basic black. This again. And then I am going to take my Stamparatus, okay? How many of you have a Stamparatus? This is quite helpful with this stamp because it's large. It's one big piece. And I've heard of people cutting this apart, but I kind of feel like that defeats the purpose. If you just want, I mean, unless you absolutely love the sentiments and you absolutely don't love the purpose of this stamp, then I guess that would make sense. But so what I'm going to do is I'm just putting my paper down here and I'm just going to lay the stamp. It doesn't matter if it's centered or not. I'm just trying to give it a little room on the edges, okay? Push it down like that. Okay, and we're going to emboss this. So I have my embossing powder in these little containers that I got off Amazon. I like them because they have these little clips. So when I take the lid off, it doesn't fly everywhere. And then I just have a little broken spoon in there. So I'm going to stamp this in the Whisper White Craft ink, put my embossing powder on it, and then I'm going to heat emboss it. Now I'm telling you that because I'm going to do it and the embossing is going to be loud, okay? So in case you can't hear me talking, that's why, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on here. Put our case under there. And I'm going to get that nice and inked up. And then by using the Stamparatus, we can give it a nice even pressure down. If you don't have the Stamparatus, you can just use a clear block. But I feel like because with the sentiments on this stamp, because some of them are kind of intricate, this works best. Okay, now we'll pull it up. And if you see that there's some places where the ink didn't quite get it, because it's on the Stamparatus, you can ink it back up again without moving the stamp. And you can stamp it again. So if you're one of those people that when you stamp, sometimes it doesn't get a crisp image, then you really need to get the Stamparatus. Because it allows you to restamp and then you don't get the double lines. And I think I want to use this one and that this is not stamping. So I'm going to do it one more time. Try to push over there. Okay. There. So you can see it came out real good. And then I just take my embossing powder. And I'm not going to use all these sentiments today, but the nice thing about this is I can keep them all on my desk, maybe in a little envelope or whatever you have that will help you remember that you have them. And then if I'm in a hurry, I have a quick sentiment to use. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's what it looks like there. Gonna make it a mess here. Okay, now I'm gonna heat emboss. Okay. So then here is my heat embossed piece of cardstock. Okay. And then with the coordinating die, what you do is you line up these heart and these stars, okay? And then you run it through your die cutting machine, just like so. Okay, and if you don't want it to move, you can use some washi tape. So I'll just put a little there and a little here, and then I'll run it through my machine and it will cut all of these sentiments out. Okay, so I'll be right back again. Do any of you have this stamp set? The many messages? And if you have it, do you use it a lot? Okay. All right. So I ran this through my die cutting machine. And then now I have all of these sentiments to use on a card. Or use on several cards, I should say. And so if you wanted, you could, you know, you could take a little bit of time and do this with lots of different colors of cardstock and ink maybe. And you'd have them ready to go. If you find this is a little more work than what you want to do for one card. But I love it. I think it works great. And I love that they came out with another stamp set. in the annual catalog that coordinates with the same die. So I'm just going to put that in there and save that for later. Okay, so these are all my sentiments. So I'm just going to put those aside, okay? So now we're going to do our one sheet wonder. Okay. So you need a paper cutter. And here's our papers that we're going to use, okay? So I'm going to start with the base of my cards. And I'm going to score and cut. So this is going to make 4 cards that all coordinate. Next, I'm going to cut my mat. Actually, I'm going to cut the designer series paper first so you can kind of see that. So here's our designer series paper. If you're using something, if you're using designer series paper that's 6x6 and it's part of a product share, or maybe even you cut it yourself, you want to make sure it's exactly 6x6. So I run it through here again. There might be like a slight edge on it that might not be straight. And that makes it hard to cut this when you're trying to cut this, okay? So again, here's our map that we're using to cut this. So I'm going to come over at 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to come over at 3 inches, okay? So here's 1.5. And then here's 3. Okay. And so for this little piece here, I'm going to turn it and we're going to do 1.5 till we have 4 pieces. Okay. So those are going to go on one card, so I'm going to keep them together. Now this center piece, we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut at 3 inches. So this is another card. And then here we're going to cut at 1 inch 2 times. And I want to keep these in order, and you'll see why when we do our cards, okay? And then this one, I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut it at 5.5. So you might want to be mindful of where you cut. I probably would have rather cut up here, but I didn't pay attention, so, okay. And then for your mats, so your mats are the pieces that are going to go on the outside of this, okay? So you only need 1 sheet of cardstock. You're going to have leftover. I didn't sit and try to figure out the most economical way to cut these, because to me, I just really don't care. So I just came in, and because I have 2 pieces that are at 3 1/4, did 3 1/4, and then turn this, and so we have 4.5. And then this one's 3.5. Okay. And then we have 1 5/8. So 1 5/8 by 5.5. And then we have 3.5 by 3.5. So you'll be left with this. And you might just set that aside. I'm not going to use it for these cards. However, I'll show you how I used it on some other cards, okay? All right, so then we're done with our paper cutter. So we'll put that to the side. Get rid of our scraps here. Okay, so then we have our bases, and then we have our pieces that go like this. Okay. Yeah. 3 by 3 is going to be these. And these I'm going to kind of mix up. I think I might do it like this. Okay. And then this one, let's see, then we have this one. So this one's going to go on here like that. Okay. Hey Lisa, thanks for joining us. Okay, and then these are the ones that I said to pay attention to what order they're in. You don't have to, but like for this designer series paper, because it has the tigers, I'd rather have like a full tiger with a space in between than just have partial tigers, okay? Like randomly, so. And then you can see, so here, there's his feet for his body, okay? So those are the layouts that I'm going to be using for the cards. Now let's find some sentiments to go with these. So I did want to use this one that says be strong, be brave. You've got this, since they're tigers. I think I might use a happy birthday, and maybe just a card to say hello. And let's see what else. That's what's kind of fun about these. I think I'll use this little tiny one. Thank you ever so much. I don't know, it's hard to decide. I guess that's the downside of this. Then you have to decide which ones you want to use. Okay. So we'll put these aside. Hey Ronnie, thanks for joining us. We're doing a one sheet wonder with 6x6 paper today. Okay. All right, so we have these. And so then we have our bases for our cards. And then it's up to you what you want to embellish with. So I pulled out some gold ribbon, and I pulled out the champagne rhinestones because they matched. We'll see what I do with them. So, okay. Ronnie, yes, the video will post after the live, so you'll be able to rewatch it. Okay, so I'm going to fold all of my bases for my cardstock. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so we have those. And then just like I showed you here, this is how these go together, okay? So when I'm working with designer series paper in this fashion, how there's different pieces, I like to use liquid glue because it gives me a little time to move them around before they're totally set in place. If you're using tear tape or you're using the seal, Stamp and Seal, you kind of got to get it on the first try. So this glue is a little forgiving for this process. Just going to go down here like so. Okay, and if you're joining us late, if you haven't heard, this month Stampin' Up! Is having a sale on their designer series paper. The 9 selected papers are 15% off, and this is one of them. And I am sharing ideas this month to use up that paper. So whether you want to buy some paper or you need to use up some of the paper you have so you have a reason to buy more paper, I'm going to show you lots of ideas. Okay, so you'll want to be sure to join me every Wednesday in July at noon Mountain Time. Okay. All right, and then this one. And if you ever can't join live, there's always the recording, and I also post all my videos to YouTube, so you can subscribe to my channel, and then you'll always be notified when there's a new video. And if you decide you want to place an order for Designer Series paper and you use my hostess code, you will get my monthly class for free if your order is over $40. And this month, I'm featuring the Sweet Strawberry Bundle. Okay, so there's our pieces. Now we're ready to put our cards together. Okay, so keep in mind, you can do these any direction you want, but I'm going to show you kind of how. Sometimes it depends on the Designer Series paper. So for this instance, we can't go that direction unless we flip the paper over and that image let us do that. But then this goes on that one, and then this goes on this one. Okay, and then I just have to figure out. Oh, you're welcome, Becky. I'm glad you got it. Sorry it took me a little time to get it in the mail, but better late than never. Okay, I think I might do that one there. This one, maybe like so. I'm not sure here. Trying to figure out which ones I want where. Okay. So for this one, it's kind of tiny. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of tiny on that. So I'm going to help it out a little. And I'm going to use a punch. And that's kind of a big punch, huh? Yeah, let's find a smaller punch. How about this one? This is the postage punch, and it kind of matches that. Okay, we're gonna do that one, and I'm gonna use some vanilla. If you're ever not sure what to use, remember to go back to the back of your paper. Oh, this says Whisper White, but it looks like vanilla to me. But I think, how funny. I'm still going to use the vanilla because I think it looks vanilla. So, but if you have a hard time picking out your papers, just remember you can do that. So I'm going to punch this out, and I could use this piece like so. I know it's kind of big though. I think that looks a little better. So I am going to attempt to make this smaller, just like so, so that it goes in like that. That one's kind of better. Let's see here. We need the inside cut. So this one, there, I like that one. Okay. Yeah, this is a great way to make several cards. It's taking me a little longer because I'm showing you step by step. But I'm going to show you two more samples that are already done. I made those in less than an hour before I joined you guys. So, okay, so I think what I'm going to do, let's start with this one. And I'm going to, this one I'm going to put some gold ribbon on, or just around here. And I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Okay. And these one sheet wonders, if you just Google that, there are so many different layouts you can do. Okay, and this one I'm going to glue straight down. And I'm just going to put it in the center. And then I'm going to cut some dimensional. This is the foam adhesive sheets. I love these. These are my new favorite. Okay, so there's one. This one I might just leave because this might be a good masculine card. But I'm going to use these foam adhesive sheets, and I like to use my kitchen scissors for long cuts. Okay, and we're just going to put that down like that. And I'll put sheets on this too. This one, and let's see, my regular dimensionals are right here. Just put one of those on that, like so, and then we'll just glue this to the center, just like so. So it's not covering too much of our designer series paper. Okay, and I'm going to kind of put that in the middle since that's really all we have on the card. And then one more. And then I'll lay them all out. And these, you can dress them up as much as you want. So if you like a lot of embellishments, you do a lot of embellishments. And if you don't, you don't have to. These are great for beginners because you don't need a lot of product. If you get some designer series paper and then pick out some coordinating cardstock and maybe one or two embellishments, there you go. Okay, so this one, I'm going to leave the ribbon off of this one. I'm going to this, put on the back of there, and just like that, and then we'll do some rhinestones, and then we'll be done. Almost spilled my water. Okay. That wouldn't be nice. Okay. So, let's see here. I'm really bad at this random thing again, but try. Okay. There's that one. This one I'm just gonna leave. This one I'm gonna leave. This one I'll put a few on. Let's do some of the smaller ones. Maybe. I'm really bad at the random. I never know what to do. Actually, I'm not going to put it on there. Kind of just like those like that. So these are our 4 cards. So they all coordinate. So like I said, this would make a great gift. It's a quick way to make several cards. Use up your designer series paper. They all coordinate, so we could just take some of this gold ribbon and wrap it around with a bow, and then you have a beautiful little gift, right? So I won't do that quite yet. I'll have to take photos of these, but it's ready to go when I do. So let me show you some of the others. Okay, so there's those. Okay, so I know you all have seen this paper. This is the pansy petals, right? Let's move those. So I used this one, and then the Lovely You stamp set. This is an older set, not very old, but older. And then these are the cards that I came up with. So you can see how I interchanged some of the cards. I used some different punches. So here I used the scallop punch, and then I used this other one. I'm not sure what that's called. And then for this stamp set, it had the little flowers, so I actually stamped those. Here, let's see, I tied the ribbon in a different direction. So there's those. And then the second one I did was featuring the Sweet Symmetry. Now here's another one. I don't have the stamp set, but I have this stamp set, which is my favorite right now, the Biggest Wishes, or the Biggest Wish. So for this one, I made these cards. So, and these ones are all monochromatic. And I'll post photos of these cards on my Facebook page this week. Okay, but you can kind of see how they go together. So I hope you'd enjoyed this. I am giving a set of these cards away. I'll actually let you pick which ones you want. In order to be qualified, you need to like this post, you need to comment, and you need to share the video. And you might need to comment that you shared it. If you do that, I will enter your name in for a drawing to win a set of these, and I'll reach out to you if you win, and you can let me know which one you'd like. So this is the Sweet Symmetry, we have the Wild Cats, and we have the Pansies. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today. I hope this gave you some ideas to use your designer series paper. These are letting the designer series paper stand out and showcase itself. Next week I will be sharing how you can change up the look of your card just by changing the designer series paper. The week after that I will be sharing fun folds with designer series paper, and then the last week in July I will be sharing projects that you can make using designer series paper that are not cards. So I hope you will join me all month long. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great day, guys. Bye.